What's going on, lovelies? So, a quick little experience I had today. I felt it in my heart to call Gavin Newsom's governor office in regards to how they had spent $100 million to invest in a methane tracking satellite system. They call them constellations. But they didn't spend any money on trying to curb the solution. So it's more, hey, let's invest in the crisis, but not invest in the solution. The model of today's systems, which is treating symptoms. We all understand. I mean, I'm sure people who watch my channel understand this whole mentality. So it's a bit odd because I know Gavin, if he's going to really do something about the methane, because a lot of it's coming from the oil and gas companies and landfills. And I was advocating to him, there's a study that was released in around 2016, I think 2015 or so, where it specified that, yes, using biochar as a land cover will oxidize the methane and it'll create capturing mechanisms if they mix it with 20% soil, 80% biochar, which is great. There you go. There's your solution. That's what should be invested in, right? I have some biochar on my nose. Anyways, so I go to call him, and I reach his representative at the governor's office, and I explain to them, hey, there's a really awesome solution here where we can invest in biochar makers wherever they are, whoever they may be, such as myself, and then we could be spraying this on the landfills and reducing our methane emissions in this county that I am inhabiting. She says, that's really great, right? But it's really sad. Like, I could feel this woman, she's I didn't get good energy sensations from her over the phone when she spoke to me. I felt very low vibration. And I feel for these individuals. I'm sure they're not really happy in their positions, but, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm assuming a little bit too much. But I could feel it. So I was hoping Gavin would take this serious, and maybe she would forward the information to the governor and say, hey, there's a man out there who has an idea. But since Gavin Newsom really is supported by the oil and gas industry, I forget his name, like Gordon or something his name is, but he had given him a huge investment to start his wonderful vineyard. I think it's like Jack something his name is, of his vineyard, Jack I don't know. So it's kind of a conflict of interest for Gavin to launch the satellite and spend $100 million of our taxpayer dollars to just track methane and then not come up with a solution on how to deal with the methane when it's already well known. They have to know. There's no way they cannot know if they're in charge and receiving the resources in the UC program. And how could you not know? How could you not? So it's just really not looking good. Really anybody who's living here on this planet. It seems as if something's really going to have to give. And we all know crisis is what creates decision making. I mean, we've seen that with COVID. Look how much money they were able to allocate within, a few months. Billions of dollars, right, to the pharmaceutical companies to save everybody from COVID. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Soon that will come up to save y'all from methane reduction. But who knows? Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just be another climate thing because they're all bitching about carbon. That's what's the carbon dioxide. That's what's creating. No, it's actually the methane. And that, fast forward to 2023. Al Gore, you should have talked about methane. But you probably couldn't because your buddies, billion-dollar oil and gas companies, couldn't have that information released now, could they? But I understand, you can't expose yourself. And when people do say and expose the truth, don't worry, we're ignored. But it's okay because the time clock is ticking and it's going to come to a head. And when we say, hey, we told you so, it might just be too late. But we tried. And I tried. And I can sleep like a baby at night knowing that I ain't causing the problems in this ecosystem or around this world. And I actually work to actually have a solution that was utterly ignored. So I kind of know how Tesla feels. And here comes this glorious train, trucking chemicals, invading my video, disturbing the peace. You can hear it, I'm sure. We live in this wonderful world, don't we, everybody? I'm so happy to be here. I'm so glad to share my air with all of you. Thank you for being there with me. Thank you for those who listened, because my time is running out as well. And it was great to know all of you, but we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. What can I do? It's all right. People are complacent. People are happy with their lives. They're happy with their vacations. They're happy with their 9-to-5s and watching Bills games or watching football games, rooting for their, Super Bowl champions. And the bread and circus games rule the day, and whoever controls the mob controls Rome. So I just don't have that power. Sometimes I'm too smart for my own good. But what can I do? Ken2234 signing off. I hope that things can change, but I'm not going to hold my breath.